Greetings, everybody. My name is Alexander, and I have a question. What is wrong with modern education systems? The answer to this question is really quite simple. In the 21st century, students are taught by academics who studied teaching in the 20th century, who follow curricula developed in the 19th century, and who use teaching methods proposed back in ancient Greece. What is the primary objective of the education system? Knowledge? No. If it were about the knowledge, then the process would be efficient. It's the process of knowledge transfer that is an essential component of the system. Hence, it's all about the ego of educators and the collection of fees for the relevant services. Let's think about the process altogether, and we'll start with lectures. One speaker, 300 listeners. The least effective teaching method among the available teaching tools. The same material is repeated year after year. The same material is repeated year after year at different institutions. And the same sources are typically used ubiquitously. Why? Money. Seminars. One speaker, 30 listeners. We have to admit that it is indeed a more effective teaching method, which is attributed to the self-preparation of students. But nonetheless, one must ask a question. Should we continue including them in the knowledge acquisition process? Assignments. These are more effective than seminars and way more effective than lectures, but there's a huge but. Do they develop the ability to apply the acquired skills and knowledge for the resolution of actual work-related problems in an actual work environment? Exams. They are typically designed to test the ability of students to answer theoretical questions orally or in writing over a predetermined and typically limited period of time. What is the purpose of that? Shouldn't they test the ability of students to resolve actual work-related problems in an actual work environment? To sum it all up, you spend copious amounts of money and your valuable time, which by the by can be spent more wisely, stroking the egos of academics and preparing for useless exams, the threat of which, in the opinion of the academics, must force students to acquire knowledge. The paradox of the system is that top educational establishments charge higher fees. Isn't it supposed to be the opposite, since top schools are attended by smart, dedicated and motivated students who require less supervision and instruction? The final outcome of the combined educational efforts can be summarized with a quote from Scrubs. 4 years of pre-med, 4 years of med school and tons of unpaid loans have made me realize one thing. I don't know Jack. So why not simply record interesting lectures once, vividly and succinctly, without pauses and other unnecessary elements, and make them available to everyone absolutely free of charge by uploading them on YouTube or other platform and update them when necessary, thereby saving time and money and achieving efficiency. That way students will be able to review the material at the time when it is convenient for them. Furthermore, the issue of individual approach must be raised. Every student has specific needs. When I visit a shop, I only purchase the items that I need. Why is it that when it comes to education systems, a single package of services is offered to everyone at the identical price? You will most likely ask who I am and why I am saying all these things. You may also doubt my statements, being aware of various studies conducted in the past, which demonstrated that no single teaching approach can replace a personal touch of a capable teacher directing the knowledge acquisition process and motivating students. Let's discuss who I am first, to add credibility to my statements. Let's start from the very beginning. I obtained my secondary education certificate in Russia, completing years 10 and 11 over a single year on an external basis, completing high school with all excellent marks, for which I was awarded a gold medal. Thereafter, I went to Australia, where I obtained a bachelor's degree in biomedical science. Over the course of my studies, I was recognized as a top student once, and I also participated in scientific research projects, focusing my research efforts on malaria and tuberculosis. I then moved on to study law in Australia, and after 1 year, I was expelled from the university for a general misconduct, receiving a 5-year disqualification. It was a very interesting case, and I will certainly tell you all about it one day. Having returned to Russia, I obtained a Russian law degree specializing in civil law and a judicial psychologist degree specializing in the psychology of emotions, nonverbal communication, and lie detection. There is nothing to brag about as far as my scholastic achievements in Russia are concerned, as by that time I had already started to realize that there is a huge difference between studying for marks and and studying for knowledge. Studying for marks is basically blindly following the instructions furnished by academics, while studying for knowledge is the development of skills and abilities that are essential for your future professional development. Once the 5-year disqualification period had lapsed, I obtained an Australian MBA degree and I was then reinstated as a law student. I'm currently studying Australian law on a remote basis and I'm nearly finished, as I have approximately half a year's worth of studying to complete. While doing my tertiary studies, I also managed to complete a number of courses, including Clinical Research Associate Training, English Language Teaching course, Business English Teaching course, Translator Training, and Science Teaching course. My employment history may be briefly summarized as follows. Translator, editor, 14 years, lawyer, 9 years, teacher, 6 years. I taught biology and ecology in English, law in Russian, and the English language. I was also a clinical research associate for a year, wrote assignments for students, provided psychological consultations, owner of a limited liability company for 4 years, individual entrepreneur for 5 years. You have the right to question my assertions, but unfortunately everything is exactly the way I'm describing. I was a teacher myself for many years and I have studied at many different places around the world, and the primary objective of the education process everywhere is the collection of fees by egomaniacs. If you want evidence supporting my statement, come by a teacher's office and tell him that you're planning to study independently and you're going to master the program on your own. You will automatically be informed that this will be impossible to accomplish because the exams are based on lectures. Or correct an academic during his speech, and even if he is absolutely wrong, you will still have to face his wrath. Or be smarter than your mentor and complete his extra clever statements before he finishes speaking, and you will have to endure his obvious contempt for you. I had students myself who were capable of mastering the programs of the subjects I taught themselves, and I realized that, and nonetheless I attempted to foist my services on them and despised them for not needing me. I absolutely do not question the importance of secondary education. I'm only claiming that tertiary studies, the studies that cost us money, are not supposed to be the way that they are. And even if you admit that an adult requires close supervision provided by academics, teachers must correspond to the title they hold in every way. The teaching process must take place in small groups, and the teacher must guide, motivate, and inspire instead of lecturing students using information from commonly known sources. I do not consider myself to be a good teacher, and over the years of being involved in the education process on both sides of the fence, I encountered only 2 teachers whose lessons could have been considered useful. So what do I offer, and what do I want? In addition to all the tertiary studies and courses that I have completed, and that have cost me money, I have also read thousands of books on various topics ranging from electronics to archery, and have mastered dozens of subjects independently on my own without spending a dollar. What I want is for education to be free of charge, or at least affordable for a broad range of students, for tertiary institutions to be equally prestigious, for money-making and foisting of unnecessary educational services onto everyone to stop, for elements characterized by low efficiency, for example lectures, to cease existing, for extension of the learning process over an unjustified period of time to come to an end, and for useless exams whose purpose evades me completely to vanish. Therefore, I will start sharing my knowledge with you absolutely free of charge, hoping that one day the education process will become efficient and affordable. We will cover Russian law and Australian law in Russian and in English respectively, and I will show you how easy it is to be a lawyer and that you don't need to sit through 5 years worth of lectures to be able to resolve legal issues. I will pass all business-related knowledge that I have on to you. We will talk about economics, management, accounting, marketing, financial analysis, and other aspects of running a business. We will also cover a number of psychology-related topics, including the psychology of emotions, nonverbal communication, and lie detection. I will further provide some guidance which will help you establish and maintain relationships, both professional and personal ones. We will also talk about science, specifically biology, ecology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and statistics. I will also tell you about the translation industry and the knowledge you need to be a translator or an editor. I will further discuss clinical trials, and I am planning to provide some recommendations to those who wish to become educators. I will also share with you the knowledge that I believe everyone must possess, and we will discuss such topics as personal finance, job searching, sales, and communication, among other things. I will be explaining complex issues using simple language. For almost all subjects mentioned, I will be starting out with the foundations first, the understanding of which will help you deal with just about any issue related to the relevant field of knowledge. Some subjects will be dealt with in Russian, but the majority of topics will be discussed in English. For instance, as previously stated, Russian law will be covered in Russian, while Australian law will be covered in English. Whichever language will be more convenient for me to use with allowance for the relevant field of knowledge, that very language I will be using to cover the corresponding topic. I am planning to record short videos and upload them when they are ready. As you may have already guessed, it will take me decades to go over everything I want to talk about. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that together we will make this world a better place.